A long anticipation has been waiting as we make our grand return to the Sepang International Circuit. 4 exciting rounds here in the Formula Sprint 2 2026 season after what we have seen for a early conclusion last time round in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're still along in the Asian continent as we make our grand return for the first time in a pretty long while. We return to Sepang. Often has showcased beautiful, exciting racing, and one of the widest on the calendar is going to play host to the 5th round of the FS2 Championship. With us again, Remco de Zeeuw is with us here in the broadcasting directing side of things as per usual. Big thanks to him as always. And joining me alongside his last minute replacement, Juho Sopanen, for what has been a little bit of a broadcast kerfuffle a bit on my end. I deeply apologise to all of the management and the commentary team and to Ross McIntyre. But Juho, we have commentated a little bit of a fair while previously in GPVWC and first time ever we're covering FS2. So how do you feel covering for this round here in Malaysia?
Pretty privileged to be commentating with you, Amir, and of course we're basically kind of remarried in commentating once again. But either way, I apologize also from my side as well for the kerfuffle as well. But either way, I want to say good evening to all of you boys and girls who are watching at home, work, or anywhere else, even if you're running. And of course, this will be exciting because Malaysia has delivered us some great races, and it's been a while since they held us spectacle in 2019. So it's been like at least 7 years since GPV has been here, and returning after 7 years in FS2 actually. We are pretty much it's gonna hand us a very great race because we've seen in Academy it was incredible out there, and yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to see what will happen because we got now new drivers in this grid. So we got Pessi Mikkonen, Alfie White, and I think there's also Mark Matthias Whitman, or who could it be?
Yeah, quite a lot of people as well. Also, quite noteworthy as well. Home races for Mika Hakimi and Amir Haziq, both of which have been done pretty well in the first half to the season, and they will continue on that momentum heading here at their very grand home in what is again a very fantastic motorsport facility in the Sepang International Circuit. First opened in 1999, one of the first of what we the so-called Tilkadromes, but it's always held a special place not just in the fans' heart here in Southeast Asia, but also to the driver's heart, known for again very wide, was the first of its kind, but also the elevation changes that brings to in the first sector, known for very smooth, the second sector being more technical, and the third sector having that very difficult penultimate corner leading to back-to-back straight, which makes that corner all the more important, and the hairpin as the final corner as well. Looking over Magnus Aukenhaug, who's going to start for his first flying lap. A little bit of a struggle, and there is the track is a little bit cold, so not much grip going to get into those tires, but we'll see what the Norwegian can do. Just coming out through to the first three corners. Down into the fourth one though, just a little bit of a heavy braking and just slightly lift on it. Utilizes as much of the track as he possibly can use. Does put the two wheels onto the curb as allowed through to the sweeper of the right one. You need to be very careful and just hope that the aerodynamics in that car does carry you. And well, this two corners here is almost effectively one corner, but you have to hit two of the apexes absolutely spot on for this run down into the hairpin, which is very, very difficult to actually get right uphill. You need to be very easy on the accelerator actually, because you don't want to risk getting spun at, as I have done so before in the past. You can carry on for the west if you want, Juho.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus seems to be pretty much stable on this setup. In the first sector he didn't go through a very good sector one, but as we go through what I like to call, like, once again I'm gonna say the Sepang slingshot, and I think you would like that because it would actually make a bit sense, because that turn is like a slingshot towards this back straight. By the way, we're going through turn 15 now. A little bit of a lock-up, it seems like, from Magnus Aukenhaug, but now he has the DRS on and he will come across the line here. It might be an improvement. Well, no, I meant a top 9. Yeah, top 9 for Magnus Aukenhaug. Currently, the fastest is Thijs Jongstra, And looking at Mihailo Vicentijevic as well, not the best of Sector 2s, but let's see what he can deliver. Only 26th.
Everyone bar hijack Nikola Lukoski, and 2 more cars as well. Kirsty Glamsetter fastest onto the first sector, and just about a 10th and a half lost in the second. So very important final sector could push the Norwegian into a more representative lap time. Again, the gap between Youngster and Skidder provisionally is about 400s, but that won't be their starting grid. We will go through that a little bit in the warm-up. But Glamsetter now, the other of the Fox Esports, going to try the best to follow through his teammate Ockenhag in 9th. Chris Davis, meanwhile, speaking of him, very impressive as he's in the 10th, as Mikkonen as well, also into 11th. A little bit wide there from Glamsetter, and his first sector has already been improved by someone else, but Glamsetter will be enough to push the Fox Esports driver into 3rd, and that's a really, really good time from himself. Cody Nikolakoski, the North Macedonian, has been a fantastic standout drive ever since he's made his debut in round 2, but he's still eyeing for his first win, and well, for him, he's going to try and hopefully put his cards into today in Sepang, that this race will be the one in which he will clinch it. Again, just him and Anthony Devol, just one of the last ones left to make their fastest laps at the moment. 8 minutes and 40 to go. One final corner, the midfield driver just has to tackle through to the hairpin. A little bit squirrely, but still going to be pretty clean on exit, and it will be a pretty representative lap. I'm pretty sure right into the top 15, I reckon. Oh no, that's not will fall off down to 26th. So Cody has been struggling pretty massively from this run, it seems.
I might cut in here, but it seems like in the backstretch, Cody did not use DRS. But yeah, as we see Chris Davis, a familiar name in GPVWC family as well, currently not that far off in the 1st and 2nd sector, but 2nd sector seems like it's his worst currently. But at the moment, he is doing pretty notable for the Chimera Racing team as he goes off track, and well, he's going to have the DRS on at the back straight. But will this be an invalidation? But well, let's see, honestly, because I reckon there's not much invalidations on the circuit as he goes wide, so that's his lap complete as well. Well, incomplete at least I can say. But yeah, honestly, I was just saying we've got Axel Flam. What a transition though. Remco to Zeeuw, hats off to you for that.
And Hayek also going into the pits as well, so they're kind of seeing their times a bit invalidated coming through to that final sector. Alfie Denley has an absolute stormer of the last 2 races, has been a pretty good improvement for the Thai driver himself. He's found this form back in Bahrain. He's going to hope that this sort of momentum does continue throughout Asia, as the Thai driver is going to go for a proper lap. He's got his best to follow through to Alex Day. Alex Day currently holding on to P13, who just his teammate actually finished on the podium back in Jeddah in race 2. And speaking of the people last time in Jeddah, one of our Luvnik as well, he won previously, but that was he's currently sitting in 26 at the 25th at the moment for McIntyre Racing. And speaking of which, his teammate Alfie White, who's in replacement of Philip Savinsky, who's missing out. He will be back, I think, in around May time. So Alfie White is a temporarily emergency replacement for the Polish driver. But Denley already green into the first sector for McManus.
Yeah, Alfie Denley seems to have improved so much during these last few races that now he's currently like gone into his, as I can say, prime, but he hasn't just peaked yet. I mean, that's my opinion only, and honestly, I apologize to Alfie. I mean, he's an amazing driver, and honestly, he's got a lot of talent to show. Of course, there's a bit of a mishap into the last corner, but well, penultimate corner, but he seems to be doing good in sector 2, so it's all good for him at the moment. Now we're going through turn 15, last corner basically, and now he's gonna open the DRS on the front stretch. He takes a bit of the track limits as well, but here he comes across the line. Will be an improvement. Oh no, it's invalidation for Alfie.
Yep, he will be able to go for again, and everyone will be able to go for again. Here's Rokwai is aiming for his first point for it. He previously was just narrowly missed out in it for ST Racing, I think, on track. But now, this time with Fetchinera replacing Victor Burnett, who's gone on to FS1. We'll see what the British driver can do right on exit. He's got green all around, about 400s off from the fastest, I believe. Through to the line he'll go, and 1.8 seconds. That was a heftly cost into the third sector and completely removed his improvement. Cody Nicola Koski, meanwhile, he's currently only into 22nd for his dear life, and is surely going to hope for a better lap this time around with 4 minutes and 30 to go.
Yeah, I mean, there are pretty much chances here still, because we got 4.5 minutes to go here in qualifying. Jonas Gaurala currently, oh my goodness, that's a bit of a cut there from Jonas. I thought he was gonna make him lose a little bit, but I think he's gotten away with that, as I'm gonna be honest. And second sector looks to be pretty quick overall, but just not the quickest of this session. But yeah, Jonas Gaurala, he has missed a few races last year. Well, several races, but now he is back on his feet and he's ready to bounce back. He's still missing that first win, and he wants to claim it today. I think he's pretty on with it. But I mean, look at Bessi Mikkonen as well. On his debut as well. Well, he's currently 5th. And look at the first and second sector, Amir.
Yep, green all around. He's already outshining his teammate and could be a chance to punch his ticket into the top 3 if this goes. Jonas Krala, meanwhile, a big improvement there. He's about 69th hundredths away from pole position. That Ben Skinner holds a 151. That still remains relatively on Chandler. Flam improves up into 11th. Another improvement coming up ahead. That was Salag, I think, improvement, but Pesci, what can he do? He's up in his 5th, and a purple into the final sector means that he gets himself right back in it.
Yeah, it's an incredible lap from Bessi Mikkonen. And look at Kasper Kuritz. His second sector is fastest, but he's loose. And he's completely wrecked the lap, but he has still a chance to go out for one more lap. But look at Mika Luvink here. Mika Luvink might actually have a chance of getting at least a top 10 on this qualifying.
Nope.
As I say that, he's gone.
He heard you. He must have heard you. Invalidation through to the final sector must have been why he's called it into the pits for the time being. 2 minutes and 25 to go, so we're going to see some people onto the last runs. And massive improvements coming for all around. Chris Davis into P3 at the moment. Hakimi has improved up into 6. I saw La Flamme again up into the top 10, but now it's dropped down. Rokwai into 10. Whoa. And Kuritz not being able to improve his land for Salagi to hold on to 8th at the minute. Is completely chaos everywhere. And Jaros Carly, meanwhile, is green all around the first 2 sectors. Just the final sector he has to go, and he may be able to punch his ticket up into the top 3. But we'll see what the Priority 1 esports driver could do. Through to the penultimate corner. Looks very clean. Onto the stretch now.
It looks very clean right now, but let's see from the back straight to the last corner, because Jonas Gaurala has a chance to actually get into pole position here, because the second sector looks really quick. But either way, let's see last corner. It's a bit twitchy, but now he's got the DRS on, and let's see what Jonas Gaurala can do. Coming across the line here, what can he do? It's faster! He does it! And Chris Davies.
51.442. Chris Davies got able to respond though, just about yellow in the first sector, but a big improvement to the third sector. Could punch himself in the top 3. Unable to do so. 4/10 off on the final sector means that he will still remain in 4th. Christian Glumsetter, meanwhile, is going to be on course for his final lap. Alex Day, meanwhile, improves up into 9th. Craig Patterson up into P8. Improvements all around. Mika Hakimi has already gone purple into the first sector, but a very costly middle sector though. Is it going to be enough for the Malaysian driver to hold in 3? A bit too wide through to the final sector means that he is not able to improve on this lap.
Well, I hear your frustration, Amir, but hold on a minute, because he still has a chance to do a lap here. But looking at Mika, he's currently still on this lap, but he might have a chance of still completing a lap and improving as he's coming across the line here. But yeah, no, it's not an improvement, because it's an invalidated lap time. Well, currently, if I'm gonna be honest, it's still a battle for pole position here, because look at Ben Skinner at the moment. First sector fastest, second sector even faster as well.
Purple all around for Skinner, who's just got the final sector left to go. The final sector that has cost everyone their improvements, and is Invade and Mikkonen, meanwhile, only one in the garage, and Krasminski as well, so 18th. Matej Whitman also in, so everyone else is going to go in for their last improvements. Checker flag indeed has dropped. Ben Skinner looks very clean, out for to the penultimate corner, now into the back stretch. DRS wide open. Purple, can it be a purple once again? We're going to see here, just hairpin left to go for Ben Skinner. He just needs to find a 10th improvement from Jonas to get it, but a little bit squirrely out from the hairpin though. Is it too much damage to worsen his chance of pole position? We have to see as he goes for across the line. Ben Skinner, what can he deliver? He does it enough. He will take pole position here at the moment with 600ths off between himself and Jonas. Glamsetter will go for across the line, and a yellow for the first sector means that it undoes his hard work, and 8th is the best that he can do.
Yep, but we gotta still focus on Mika Hakimi. Look at his first sector, but the second sector is 4/10 off. But what can he do on the last sector? Coming through the Sepang slingshot, it's still slidey. Oh, it's gonna cost him a lot. But hold on a minute, I don't know if Jonas is improving, but I think we gotta sometimes keep an eye on him. But no, he hasn't. That's it for Jonas.
He has not at all. Solagi, I think, is still out, I believe, at the moment. But the checker flag has indeed dropped. I think that might be it for what we can see from Skinner and Jonas.
Yep, I think... go ahead, Amir.
No, you go ahead.
And Magnus... Well, I hear a fire alarm, but Magnus Okenhaug currently 3/10 off in the second sector as well. Currently, it's Ben Skinner on pole, but if Magnus does a perfect last sector, then he might actually get on with it. But we will not expect the unexpected, as he comes across the line, and he does the fastest third sector, but not enough to make it to the top 10. But what a qualifying this has been, Amir Oates. What a qualifying it has been at the moment.
It's a great qualifying session, but it's not going to determine our story order. We'll get back to that in the warm-up. But Ben Skinner for Orbit Motorsports holds on to the fastest lap, and that's going to be very crucial for what's up to come for him. Jonas Karla for Priority 1 is in second, with Thijs Youngster for Emerald Drive is the third fastest lap he has. Chris Davis Camera Racing Team is fourth, so that's incredibly impressive from Camera, as that is one of their best qualifying performances to date. Casper Kurtz for Orbit Motorsports is in fifth, with Pessi Mikkonen. Talk about a debut and coming about it in full flesh, and that's fantastic for the Finnish driver, as he's up into sixth. Mika Hakimi is the fastest Malaysian for Elk International, as they get their best qualifier's performance in seventh, with Christian Glomstetter for Fox Esports is eighth, Craig Barrett for Priority 1 is in ninth, and Mark Salaki for Killer Racing rounds off for the top 10 here, only about 4/10 between P1 and P10. Through to the rest, Alex Day for McManus is in 11th, with Axel Laflamme in 12th. James Workwell for Fretchenair is 13th, with Magnus Okenhaug for Fox is 14th. Mark Matthias Witzman for VMS Sunheads is 15th as a last minute call. Michael Luvnik for McKenna Racing is 16th. David Young for Killa 17th, and Mir Hazik for Hot Performance is 18th, with Nova McKenna for a Hunterbird Simulation Drive. She starts in set 19th, finishes in 19th. Erhan for Camera Racing Team completes over through to P4, P20 and their teammates' performances. P21st goes to Accordion Krasminski in 21st, Dan Hayek for Moldova Drivers 22nd, Andrea Canali for Fretchenair is 23rd, Alfie White for McKenna Racing is 24th, Hansko Nibas is 25th for ST Racing, and of Cody Nikolakowski from Mixfield 26th. Anthony Duval for the Academy team is 27th, with Jonas Lepid for Hot Performance Engineering 28th, Alfie Denley for McManus Motorsports is 29th, and Leila Pachalia for Hunterbird Simulation rounds off through to the top 30, with P31 and P32 going to Eamon Asabir for Elk International and Mihailo Vicentievich in 32nd. 32 cars in the grid. Out of 32, we have got a full grid ready here for Sepang, but we've got quite a bit of a longer warm-up than per usual, as the management is now going to tally up for what has happened previously before in Jeddah. It was quite a hectic one with that, of course, filled with a lot of penalties, but Juho, I think you've prepared something for us for this occasion, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. So, Remco, you can roll it.
So yeah, that's what happened in Jeddah. It was very tiring for the discipline committee, but the penalties have been released and they have been applied for the start of race 1 here in Sepang. Juho is clearly laughing from that, and so was Remco. So it was a very good laugh. And hopefully you, the community, see a bit of the fun side of this. But Chris Williamson, our race director, did clarify for how these penalties are going to be applied. So they're split into 3 groups. So group 1 is those with 30 or less grid penalties are placed in order of the sum of their qualified position. Plus, in addition to that, they have the grid penalties. Group 2 is those with only a single back of the grid penalty, is based in order of their qualifying position. And then group 3 is those with the back of the grid plus an additional penalty, a grid penalty, or more than 30 placed grid drops in total are placed in order based on the size of the penalties beyond these thresholds. So that's what's going to make it, that's what's going to take Chris a little bit long to try and really mathematically think like where does Ben Skinner, where does Lakoski go, and vice versa. So bear with us for a little bit of an extended warm-up session for race 1, but big thanks again to Chris for doing all the mathematics in his head, and for every story that has happened to you.
I mean, to be fair, it is funny, to be fair, on the other hand, but it is also a bit frustrating for the management, of course, to do the calculations. So I hope Chris will get a bit of pay for that, at least. So I hope Chris is doing well at home or work, wherever he is. By the way, I'm looking at the chat and someone's asked, did you make it with PowerPoint? And my answer is, no. I've made it with After Effects. I'm the one that prepared this Star Wars thing, but Amir had this idea, so thank you, Amir, for the idea. Of course.
Wasn't just me. Big thanks as well to James Knox and Magnus Ockenhaug as well. They also had the same idea as we did, and I think it's a little bit funny. But, well, those penalties applied, we can, you and I can sort of talk about, we can talk about a lot of things actually here today, but what do you actually want to talk about?
Well, if we want to talk about something, I think we should talk about the championship standings currently, because Ben Skinner is currently leading the championship by at least 24 points. My mathematics are really bad today, still. But either way, because of the penalties, Christian Glamstetter has won in, if I remember right, race 1, at least, if I remember right, Amir.
Sorry, from Jeddah?
Yeah, from Jeddah.
Yeah,
from the penalties.
So Glamstetter did win. Glamstetter did win race 1 from the penalties. Luvnik's race 2 race victory stood because of the demotion from a lot of people. That put Mark Salagi in race 2 into second place in place of Day, and Cody, I think, got into P3 as a result from that. But yeah, it was Glamstetter that got P1, Ben Skinner got P2, and P3 went to Mateusz Piszczan. So I think that was how it went from there as it stands, and that's what kind of affected the points a little bit. So Ben Skinner losing on a race win means that Glomstetter has now pushed himself up as to the next, as probably the next one in challenge for his lead at the moment. Lakoski did okay-ish, but it could have been a lot better for the Macedonian driver, and the fact that he's already started that far low shows that he is really struggling, so it could be a bit of a dud round for him. Casper Kurt's pointless actually in Jeddah means that he is now on 90 points and 4 points adrift from the podium of that championship. Philip Savinsky is having not going to turn up for a couple of rounds means that he is going to miss out on crucial points, one which will allow for Corella, Youngstra and De Vries to be able to claw back up to him for that very coveted top 5 in the championship. Yeah, with that, David De Vries is only about 2 points away from Ockenhaug, who is, I think, a little bit better consistently than he has been. I think he's still running on from that very good performance in Melbourne. And Mark Salagi is also about 2 points adrift from Magnus Ockenhaug, and he was actually one of the biggest victors from the penalties applied because he jumped up into P2 from that. So again, that's just that's how penalties sort of apply. You get biggest winners and biggest losers from that, and yeah, as a result, it's kind of been a little bit lopsided in terms of the race results. And well, we're able to go for it again on Sepang, and well, this time round, since the track is so wide, I expect there's going to be not as much penalties to apply here in Sepang than there is in Jeddah. Jeddah's really, really difficult. And actually, another noteworthy thing that's mentioned in the briefing, FS2 is actually the only one in this round, at least in Sepang, that's using manual track limits. Everyone else is going to use automatic, but ours, the manual applies from the rulebook. So that's partially as well why the penalties were quite harsh in Jeddah.
I mean, it's because of the nature of these cars, because the Formula Sprint 2 cars are much more slower than the others, and well, the detection zone shows only when you're at least 200 kilometers per hour, or at least what I can say is over 220 to 240, but it's up to the mod maker himself that could answer my question on how much kilometers per hour will the track limit be completely, like, how do I say it, automatically detected as well. And it's the nature of R-Factor 2. Sometimes it doesn't register, sometimes it registers. So, yeah, I mean, sure, it might have been harsher on the drivers, and some drivers got really annoyed with it and pretty much furious about that. But either way, it's the nature of sim racing and motorsports, because sometimes you get penalties and it will be frustrating, but sometimes it will benefit you in this series, because sometimes carnage happens. I've said so many times that sometimes, but either way, you get the point. Basically, just, you know, stay calm, and cool head wins them all this time.
Yay. With that graphic out of the way and warm up, we'll slowly get down to it. I think we're about 3 minutes or so to go, plus a little bit more. What else can we talk about? Oh, Sepang. I've the usual stuff of looking up what stuff there is to do in the Sepang International Circuit, because I've done it for pretty much every circuit so far in recent memory. So let me look. Where great events happen. Wow. The crown jewel of Malaysian motorsports. Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that. Whistleblowing policy. What?
What? What are you? Wait, repeat. What are you reading?
Whistleblowers are protected. All reports are treated with seriousness, confidential, and fairness. Identity is fully protected. Okay, that's good to know.
I have no idea what you're yapping about.
I could apply for a career here. This is the easiest. This is the easiest track I've seen to apply for a career for. Too bad there's no positions opening there.
Whistleblowing.
Apply for volunteer. I can apply for a volunteer. No, I'm not whistleblowing them. I've got nothing to whistleblow them about. What are you on about?
I mean, to be fair, like, Malaysia's a nice track, and also the volunteer is nice, but I don't know what else to say about this track, because honestly, I know most of the motorsport things about Malaysia, so there has to be, like, for example, MotoGP is still racing here, and Formula 1 has raced here, but I don't know what has the CEO done. Unfortunately, I wish this track would come back to Formula 1, to be fair. It has delivered great racing. I mean, do you agree, Amir?
No. Oh, sorry. Yes, I do. No, it's honestly, the nice thing about Sepang, I think, that is pretty good about it is the atmosphere. The atmosphere has been very good, and usually, like, at times, whenever, like, F1 hosts in, like, such new countries, sometimes it can be a bit harder than other countries to really, you know, grab onto and hold on to a more sport culture. And Malaysia, I feel like, has been one of these tracks where the F1 took an absolute risk of a sport that is not really well common at that age, and Malaysians and even honestly that region of Southeast Asia has, I felt, completely embraced it when you consider the attendances for the not just F1 but other more sport venues as well, like Super GT, MotoGP as well, and yeah, it's just very nice to see them, kind of embracing that one. And they've all got to thank F1's like risk for taking it, and also for the fans as well for fully embracing it too. So, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, this track is nice for example, just MotoGP. In my opinion, MotoGP has delivered a lot of great races, except something in like 2011. So I don't want to remind anyone about that. By the way, considering about that, checker flag is already fallen out in warm up.
What? Wait, what? What happened in 2011?
Well, 2011. Well, I'm a big fan of Marco Simoncelli, but there was that crash that where it killed him, unfortunately. I'm sorry to bring this topic up, honestly.
Oh, that's what happened. Apologies, viewers, for that. But yeah, that's sad. Checkered flag for Womba has dropped here in Sepang, and was slowly going to be able to go through to the starting grid again. A little bit more of time of a warm up than per usual. What else is there in the Sepang one? There's the Touring Car Championship, the MTCC, the Mini GP Malaysia Series, and also the Credit Malaysia Superbank as well, and Cycling Open Day. But that is it for me in terms of looking at that website. We've got a race in front of our hands with 17 laps to go. I've got the announcement for all the cars able to go into the grid, and with that in mind, we'll bring us through to a short moment as we see the cars come to the starting grid.
Let battle commence.
And we're back in a very short moment. I think almost everyone, bar just a few cars, have yet to take their places onto the starting grid. With that in mind, any predictions for yourself, Juho, or do you want me to call you later after I've done the grid?
Well, there's not much predictions currently, so I'll let you do the grid, and you can call me later.
My goodness me, this is going to be pretty hectic with all the penalties that have been applied. But I'll do my absolute best to go through with it at the moment. But now that we have the starting grid for today's race, and up front it will be Jonas Karla that will take pole position here. He'll start on the P1 with Taesung Sher completed for the first row. Chris Davis and Pesi Mikkonen is third and fourth respectively for Camera and MXVO. Mika Akimi Falcon Internationals into fifth, follows through with Christian Glumsetter for Fox Esports in sixth. Casper Kurtz for Robert Motorsports is seventh, with Craig Passon for Prize Who Won is over in eighth. Further to P9, it is Mark Salagi for Killer Racing, falls through, and Alex Day for McMahon's Motorsports in 10th. Axel Flab for GPVWC Academy's 11th, with Mark Matthias Witzman for VMS Sunevitz. Followed for that, Mission Lufnik is 13th, with David Junt in 14th. Magnus Ockenhag is 15th, with Nova McKenna just outside of P15. Rafael Urham is 17th, with Dan Hayek in 18th. James Rockway is 19th, with Drake Nalia in 20th. For that, Cordian Kritsminski for 21st, and Alfie White from McKenna Racing is 22nd. Hasko Bibas is 23rd for ST Racing, follows with Anthony Duval for GPVWC Academy in 24th. Jonas Lepit is 25th, follows through with Aben Asapir from International 26th. Ben Skinner suffers from a back over great penalty in 27th, same with Quentin Nikola Koski in 28th. Follows through with that, Amir Hazik also suffers the same for hot performance, and Alfie Denley as well in 30th. Leila Pajai suffers from back of the grid penalty and point and the play job, but will be ahead of Mihail Visatevich, who suffers from the same 32nd. That's quite a lot of people. So we had Skinner, Lukovsky, Denley, Tralia, Hazik, Kuritz only had 3-place grid penalty. I think Kritsminski, Rockway suffered for 9 places. Zatievich had 36, and Bernat, Bernat's not here, but he also suffered from 3. So that's about 9 people, I think. That's about, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco,
6, 7, 8, 9,
Ocho, maybe. Yeah, 9. That's 9 drivers that have suffered through grid penalties of the race, and I think about 4 or 5 of them had 5 had to suffer through back of the grid penalties from that. So 4 of them was just singular, and then 5 has been back of the grid. So that's why a lot of people come from behind, but also keep an eye on them, because not only are they going to try their best to climb their way up through the fields as safely as they possibly can, but also we still got race 2 on our hands. Jonas Carlo, though, on a great trajectory to get his first GPVWC win in FS2, but we'll have to see what will be in store for all of these drivers here as we wait for the last car ready to line up onto the grid. 32 cars ready, revving up their engines as they await for the lights to come on and go out. Who could be victorious here as we make our grand return here to the Sepang International Circuit for race 1. The lights are off and we're underway here. And Jonas Carlo has a pretty decent start, but Thijs Jonker has an even better one. Side by side between these two, between the Finnish driver and the Dutch one. Side by side, an Emerald driver is going to have a little bit of an overlap a bit ahead, but Jonas Carlo will still the inside line. But look at this, Jonas Carlo tries his best to be later on the brakes, but is unable though to do so. And you can see from the back, Pessi is going to be side by side with Mika and Kimi. Kimi goes a little bit sideways, a little bit on exit, but they will still go side by side between the 2 yellow drivers, and it is Mika who manages to top a little bit at the moment, but Thijs Jonker almost has a look ahead, but unable to do so. Christian Glamsetter going to try his best to take advantage from this between Pessi and Mika, unable to do so though, as they're still going to go side by side a little bit. Someone else onto the grass. I think that was one of the not the Camera ones, it was Luvnik, I believe, and you can just see all the places jostling around for position. Mika ready sideways a bit, that's going to allow for Glamsetter to go a bit inside, and unable to do so, just holds on behind.
Yellows in sector 2. There are some cars gone off currently. Oh, that's Johannes Leppe. That's gone off, but he doesn't seem to have damage currently. And Hans Gababius is also involved in it. But yeah, a dramatic start for the top 2 currently. But Jonas Carlo amazingly handles it perfectly and still keeps the lead currently. But look at Casper Kuritz currently defending from Craig Patterson, and then look at him, he's trying to attack Christian Glomstedt. Glomstedt is using a wider line. Look at Axel Flam. Oh my goodness, they're touching and they're barging. But yeah, Jonas Carlo perfectly in the lead, but still has a vulnerable gap of getting passed by Thijs Jonker.
Kimi down into the inside, through to the final corner, and reclaims the position back from the Finnish driver, and that infighting has allowed for a little bit of a breather room from Chris Davis as he's holding on to P3 for an eye of Camara's Racing's first ever points finish, and I think Chris Davis as well, first podium in GPVWC. Craig Patterson further back is still going to be in a battle with Axel, but Axel's going to do his best to deny him over for turn 1, but it's super close, right on the edge that Craig Patterson can't do much about, but have to back off a bit for the time being, since Axel has got the priority there.
Yep, currently we're seeing also Max Schlage trying to defend from Mark Matthias Whitman, and Whitman currently replacing David de Vrij. And look at this. I mean, BMS has a renewed lineup for this race, but look at Mark Matthias Whitman. He's going to the outside line. That's going to be brave if he makes it. No. But now Mika Luving is behind, and he will try to make a move on Mark Matthias Whitman. This is a dangerous corner to make a move in, but Mark Matthias Whitman cuts perfectly and still keeps 11th place. At the moment, behind there's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on, and we see also Magnus Okenau passing Alfie White as well.
Oh.
And he's lost a position because of that. And he's going to lose another one if he doesn't make this right. He makes it right, at least, the defense. So Magnus Okenau still keeps 18th. Look at someone's gone in the background. Someone's gone wide in the background. So I don't know who was that, but it seems like it's one of the Aquila cars, if I'm right. No, it's not an Aquila car. But I think, yeah, I don't know. It's someone, I think. One of the Academy cars, if I remember right. But yeah, it's been a hectic start currently. Look at
And over through, Ben Skinner gets up into P20, and that's going to allow for, you can just see further up ahead, that's going to be Okanagan, who's dropped 4 positions in a quest to get 1 position off from White. Biggest points gainer has been Alfie White and Dan Hayek. Both got, Hayek has got 6, Alfie's got White. Okanagan down into the inside against James, but James is going to have the inside line through turn 2, but Okanagan is going to hope in 2 White through 3. He's going to allow that. That's David John that's gone off on track. You can just see a little bit in front. And that will allow him to drop a couple of places. He's down into 22nd as a result from that. But still looking on with Magnus against James. And this is going to be Ben Skinner going to invite himself into a 3-way battle. But oh my goodness me, Rockwise shoves the door him. And it's going to be a battle between Skinner and Ockenhag. And almost on the outside, you can see, I think that is LaFlamme. Not LaFlamme, it's one of the other ones. Duval joining in. And unable to do so, he remains back in P20. Skinner on the 10th, trying his best to make an overtake against Magnus. Almost looks to the inside through turn 7 through to 8, and let's get a little bit of a better line. It's going to hope the slipstream is going to facilitate an overtake down into turn 9, one of the best overtaking opportunities that he has, but the Englishman decides not to bite.
Yeah, currently Ben Skinner is doing a very commendable comeback at the moment, but at the moment he's not going to get points. So it's Magnus versus Ben currently, and as we see Rockwell, that's McKenna and Alfie White battling. And McKenna's the team principal of McKenna Racing, so that will give her a scare and a half.
Well, she's definitely fighting for P15 for dear life. Hunter Birch has been on a point streak, actually, since Bahrain, since Layla has scored points in the last 2 races, and Nova's going to hope to make that continue, as she's currently into P15 right now to the final corner. They're going to do her best to deny her team from getting double points with Alfie White, but Alfie White will up this right on next. You can see the battling going on a bit on ahead as well, but it's still a tension between Nova and Alfie. I think that was Mikkonen and Wormsetter going side by side. Oh my goodness me! Contact!
That's a carnage! That's carnage, and that's prevented by Kimi. Wait, that was Chris Davies that spun around. And then there was Youngster also involved in that as well.
So many people have got collision to it. I know. And
Oh
Jonas
my
Carla
dear
has got the
goodness.
absolute biggest advantage he has got. He's got 5 seconds ahead. And Axel Laflamme has gone to P3.
Oh,
and
no.
taking the right moment to the inside. I think Pessy's lost the front wing.
Oh,
and has to nurse
no.
the car back in the pits. A lot of people have lost their front wings, I think. But Pessy seems to be the one worst out of it. And with that kerfuffle into turn 2, we have to look for the replay to have seen what happened, because it was absolutely horrendous from what happened there.
So let's see again. So Chris Davis goes round the outside of. Oh my goodness, Pacey was trying to do a move on Glamstead as well. Look at Davis though. Oh
no!
Oh no! That was never gonna end well, wasn't it?
No, Davies seen an opportunity, took for, and Youngstra shut the door on him, but a little bit more closer between Chris Davies, we can see what has happened. So Chris Davies, the Youngstra should have given him a little bit more. He wasn't expecting Davies to make the room as he did, and that result has allowed for everyone to be involved in it. And like again, the gap speaks for itself. 5 seconds is the gap that the second place driver has to do to claw up to Jonas Karla. So at the moment, this is going to be a pretty easy victory for Jonas for his first time. But we'll see what the rest of it happens. We've seen, I think Pessy has gone into the pits now, and
he had front wing damage. I'm sorry to cut in there, but he lost his front wing because of that contact. But yeah, as said, yeah, that might be Dice's fault, but I've got to see that again from after this broadcast. But as you can see also, Miki Hakimi is actually up to second because of that huge carnage, basically, as I call it. So it's a bit of a pile-up, but either way, everybody has managed to survive, but with minor damage. And Alex Day has spun around. And that's completely costing him a lot. Luckily, he rejoins safely. Nobody crashes into him, so it is all okay. But what happened there? Did he brake too late and he had to stamp, or did he get hit behind, or did he hit from forwards? I don't know.
Hit from forwards? What does I'm not quite sure, but we've
Frost.
Andrea Canale retiring. Andrea Canale retiring already, so we've got one out of it, and we had another one into the pits as well. But here's your race leader, Jonas Karla, and has got a very easy task on his hands, really, to just hold on to the lead. It's about 4.5 seconds. He won't have the DRS, but I think luckily though is Ikimi has to worry about Globsetter behind, so that's going to make it a little bit more harder for the Malaysian to find his way to get back in. But luckily he is kind of pulling a bit away from Christian. And Axel Laflamme, speaking about improvements, he's done fantastically for the GPVWC Academy. Kuwait for their first podium this season, that Academy team, which is going to be mightily impressive. As soon as I say that yellow flag, it's just sector pit's going to get sent around from Lufnik it was, and that's disaster for the Uber Motorsports driver, as his quest to try and get back into the point scoring position in race 1 comes face first into the floor, and he has to try and go again.
Yeah, I apologize for my choice of words there, but yeah, Ludwig braked a bit too late, as I saw, and he was trying to avoid it, or what happened here? Wait, I've got to check this. Yeah, he braked too. Yeah, he braked too late and hit Ben Skinner at the end. So it was actually Alfie White, so not Ludwig. I apologize for that. But yeah, Alfie White braked too late, and yeah, that's costed Ben Skinner a lot. So that's gonna decimate his championship lead, at least. So unfortunate for Ben, honestly.
Yep. Race will still continue on ahead, though we've already have seen quite a number amount of incidents already. We're still in lap 6 out of 17, so fingers crossed it kind of gets a little bit more cleaner as the race does go on. But yeah, it's a little bit, well, not really surprising, but given the nature of this track, it is well, I was going to say surprising that with the track this wide it does get hurt, but in fact it is a very technical track. Is that Laflamme's plus Glomsetter for P3, and he is really a man on fire, as he's going to challenge Mika Akimi for that P2 position, or at the very least try to stay behind him as they can do their best to facilitate a climb up between himself to Jonas, I think. So we'll see how that happens. I think the gap is just a little bit too far off. 2 seconds the gap between Laflamme and Hikimi, and that itself is 4.8 seconds, as you can see on the timing tower there. 4.6, 4.5. Previous lap 52.6 compared to 52.5, so Hikimi's about a tenth quicker, but that's going to be quite a very big ask with 10 laps to go that he can try and catch up to the lead. Nova McKenna still holding on to P15, as Alfie White and Luvnik still hold on to 13th and 14th respectively. And we'll see how the rest of them goes. Meanwhile, Cody Nikolakowski takes a very wide exit, and that's going to allow for Alex Day to get himself on through, and could allow for someone else, but doesn't. Meanwhile, further up ahead, Okanauk has got past McKenna for P15, and Nova's going to try her best to get that position back, but we'll have to worry about Alex Day as well. And she's going to try her best to look around to the outside. Okanaga's unable to do so, and Alex Day finds a position and says, "Thank you very much, I'll take P16 any day of the week."
Yep, either way, Magnus Okenhag now defending from Alex Day currently. Alex is wanting those points after the penalty drama in Jeddah. I mean, he finished P5 in the end, but still, he wants some points, and he wants to show that there is still potential in him, as we see a yellow flag in Sector 2. And yeah, we're seeing also Cody Nikolakowski honestly saying, yeah, oh no, that's Colin Shiminsky that's off. So I wonder what happened to him. He might have spun around at least, or what just happened. So we're going to see the replay here. So he's following Petralia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That is a tank slapper and a half there from Layla, and that scared recording completely off. And oh my goodness me, that car looks so unsettled, and very, very impressive that she didn't actually manage to lose it, but Corden feels like way too close from someone that was already struggling. Did manage to rejoin back, but was definitely the one that lost that more of it, as Layla's into P25 at the moment. So still up 8 out of 17. Craig Parsley, meanwhile, following through along the motivation of his teammate. He's going to try and do something very similar against Casper. There's going to be a bit of a bump from behind from Casper, but Craig will still hold on to P6. as that really could have been ugly, but Craig, the Guernsey driver, did very, very well to keep that car aiming straight, and he will take P6.
Yep, a bit of an argy-bargy there, but at least Craig is still okay. So there seems to be damage on Craig's car, but it's not visible. So I think, oh my goodness gracious! Craig having a bit of a tank slapper there, but he still completely is fine. That was a bit of a scare and a half. So yeah, so Kurtz is currently just dropping back from Craig because of the dirty air going through these corners. And look at this, Magnus trying to make a move on Mika Luving. But look at this, it's going to be an absolutely a tight battle. Oh my goodness, it's almost contact between Alfie White and Alex Day. So, there's more contact. So, that's benefited Kurt Nikola Lutkovsky. Well, this is some classic FS2 shenanigans, as there's yellow flags in Sector 3. That's Nova McKenna.
Nova McKenna's dropped off.
Yeah,
yep,
McKenna's
I saw
dropped
that
off.
as well. Up the one. Axel Laflamme has also dropped off as well. He was from P3, he's now down to P7, so an incident happened there.
No.
The Academy driver, and still Alfie White is begging for dear life, holding on to P15 at the moment, the last point scoring position. But Cody Nikolakowski has the slipstream and has Alex Day carry through as long with him. Down over through to the final corner. White is going to look to the middle of the track. Lakowski has got no choice but to look to the outside. Is going to hope the overtake is going to work. Too much of his speed from the North Macedonian, and Alfie White is bound to hold on to P15. Yes, he does, but he has to be on the defense once again with the DRS in hand for all of these three drivers. Cody Nikolakowski makes it super close, bangs wheels, bangs the front of his front wing with him, and Chris Davis is also jumping off as well. Lakowski down into the inside of turn 1, but Alfie White with the inside of turn 2, hoping to retaliate, but it's not going to be quite enough. Contact again between these two, but super close. Lakowski just barely makes it through, and up into P15 he's going to go, and Alex Day coming through behind is going to have the slip shape and will get through to P16. Alfie White drops 2 places.
Oh my goodness!
And Alfie White's going to do his best hold on to P15. Alex Day goes sideways, and Alfie White, I think, might have had it. He does have it. He holds on to P16.
Oh my goodness, it was close to... It was millimeters of having a massive disaster, but in the end, we're all in this together. What's going on with Alfie White? What's happened there?
Alex Day gets back into P16, though David Young is going to capitalise on that opportunity and did so, nearly gained 2 positions and still on the offence, coming over through to the hairpin. Again, a bit of a wheel banging between these two, turning a little bit ugly, but we'll see how goes. Ben Skinner coming through behind. So these three continue to fight. It's going to allow for the Englishman to get some places maybe. Alfie White is just looking in the background, hoping to take advantage of this, and indeed he does so. Takes the place against David Junt, I believe, and is going to try his best against Alex Day, but he can't find a way past him now. He's going to look over to the inside through to the penultimate corner. Super risky. A little bit less grip. Oh, and Day goes very wide. Hits
oh my goodness.
And Alfie Day regains back P16. Further on back, Ben Skinner's got 18th out of David Junt, and the Orbit Motorsports driver has got a few places to make up to get P16. How will Alex Day and Alfie White respond to this though? Day right down into the dive bomb. Through to the hairpin. Oh dear goodness me.
Oh my goodness.
Alfie White tries to deny Ben Skinner, but he was a little bit too late, and Ben Skinner barges his way through up into P17. 3 wide out coming from the huddle, but Skinner has a bit of the speed advantage and now turns back into a single fall with the slipstream available given by Alex Day. And look at this, David Young looking to the inside of White is not able to do so. Still 2 cars battling over. Ben Skinner a little bit sideways, unable to do so. Alfie White spins round from the contact with David Young. From all of that fighting. My goodness me, what a battle this has been.
Really, battle ends in a disaster for Alfie White, but I think there's still more battling going on. Oh my goodness gracious.
This is with McKenna against I think this might be Alfie Denley because he's retired. Oh my goodness me, the wheel has completely gone off of Denley's car from that, and that's just so unfortunate to have seen that. And well, that seemed to be that seemed to be like I don't know how to say that. It's very unfortunate for Denley to have suffered from that, honestly. And yeah. It was. Cars don't usually lose their wheels that quickly, But again, it's just the clarifying. Axel Flam, this was him riding on P3, and he dropped a couple of positions. This has been a really big talking point for the British driver. But here we go.
Oh my goodness!
And it's so hard.
Well held.
That corner so hard, and managed to recover it, and just drops so many places in the process. Just barely got behind Casper Kurtz upon the rejoin, but finds himself swiftly through into P7 and still holds it to that very day. But I got Mark Matthias Whitman, Salagi, Workwhite, and Chris Davis to worry about. And since his tires are cooked, he has to be really cautious.
Yeah, pretty much everybody has to be cautious in the moves because there's going to be contact, and there was contact between Axel Laflamme and also Laflamme and Shiragi. Look at this, 3 wide into his second corner. And Axel Laflamme has benefited from all of that, as he defended perfectly there. But James Rockwell, look at him for a debut as well. He's currently 11th. I think it's not his debut. I apologize for that. But that's Mark Matthias Whitman losing it, and then it's going to be a whole kerfuffle again. Oh my goodness gracious! I hope there's not going to be contact. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just coughing a little bit. But either way, let's not care about that.
No! Chris Davis got pushed out. He's got pushed out and is going to lose a couple of positions in that process. And he wasn't given a card whip there, and he's dropped so many positions in that process from that little push. Sorry to break up from there, but that was just a bit of bullying there, I must say. But Luvnik and Salagi side by side on the exit out of turn 9, going over down through to turn 11, the harder braking zone. Lukoski coming to the back, but contact though between Luvnik and Lukoski, and still no harm's done. That's a spin in the background. That's Alex Day.
Alex Day has spun off, but he still managed. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh my goodness gracious indeed! Because almost there was going to be contact between Amir Hasik and Alex Day, and that would have been a big crash. And of course, I'm okay either way, Amir. So at least the voice is saved. But either way, Alex Day well held, but almost was about to be ending in catastrophe. And well, as we see now, as everything seems to soon calm down, I don't want to jinx it. Alfie White is trying to make a move on Anthony Duval. Duval's doing great in the academy, but Alfie White is currently just trying to pressure him. He's going for the inside line, and Anthony Duval is trying to defend the inside line. But either way, Alfie White says thank you very much and goodbye to Anthony Duval. Never mind, he's
almost looked up to the outside line, but
there was a bit of a peak.
Does deny him that position, and further on back, that is I think that's David Yunt trying to get past into there. But touching up ahead, Cody Nikolakowski into P14. He's one of the best performers in terms of people that suffer from back of the grid penalties. He's up at a P14 and can well and truly be in a chance of reverse grid pull. So this is exactly what he needs to do. But looking up ahead with Salagi against Aukenhug, who's currently that's Hayek leading. And in front of Hayek is Rockwhite. Rockwhite en route for his first points this season. But we'll see over down to the hairpin out of turn 9. Everyone's going to be going single file, and no drama anywhere to be seen, anywhere to have been made between any of these 4 drivers. But still, you can just feel the anticipation heading from everyone. Everyone's going to battle for all the positions that they possibly can, can't they, Juho?
Yeah. Basically, everybody's still a bit hot-headed, but some of them are starting to cool their heads. And as I say hot-headed, Mark Matthias Whitman has to go wide at the exit of what I would like to call the Sepang slingshot. By the way, we're still going to the back straight. Everybody's still okay, and it seems like there's no crazy ding-dongs about to be made. As I say crazy ding-dongs about to be made, Magnus Hockenhaug almost tries to overtake Dan Hayek, just gives a little peek and tries to scare him a little bit.
Luvnik won race 2 under pressure from a driver that has not won a race thus far at the moment into the inside line. Luvnik will have down at the turn 1, you can just see up ahead Aukenhug almost a look to the inside of Hayek, unable to do so. Salagi comes off worst of it, but still Lukoski to the inside line out of 3, but Luvnik will have the inside line through turn 2, but here we go, Luvnik into turn 3 and still holds it in just barely within it. Lukoski just seems to have a bit more of the advantage and will indeed be cleared of Luvnik from this corner into turn 4. Ludwig has a look almost to the inside, but is unable to do so. You can see further behind that is Chris Davis as well, who's still getting scored some points, but a time of what really could have been for him, as he's suffered from incident after incident to not at all to an error of his own, and as a result just loses out massively. Went from P3 down to P15. A bit devastating there from the British driver, but still up at Glomsetter and Youngstra. Glomsetter has been in a very, very good position at this moment with Ben Skinner. He's just about on the verge of not scoring points, but with the 4 laps to go, he can well and truly deny that. And Glomsetter is really the man in charge to take that championship crown, or at least to challenge it for the time being, and for not only for himself but for Fox Esports as well. Carry that momentum, and you can see how much it means to the Norwegian driver. Right on exit now, Thijs Youngstra also keeping hold into a podium he can do, but he has to worry about Christian. What is Christian going to do? He's going to make for a move into the inside of the final corner. He is going to do that, and right into the inside as Youngstra holds onto the outside line and is going to hope for an overspeed, or at least a bit of a slipstream to fight back into turn 1. Glomsetter into P3 he goes, but the slipstream in hand again, and the DRS all the more advantageous for the Dutch, and the Dutch does manage to retaliate and makes a comeback up ahead. Glomsetter momentarily loses out on P3 as Thijs gets into P3.
Yep, either way, brilliantly played by Thijs Youngstra. Yellows in sector 3. That's never mind. Still yellows in sector 3, but Thijs Youngstra played it perfectly there. I mean, he played the DRS chicken, kind of, or Glomsetter decided to go for that move. But either way, still brilliant racing, brilliant stuff as well from all of these drivers as well. But as we see, Johannes Leppit here, the Swedish driver. Let's see what happened here. Everything seems to be fine. No, bang. And that's cost him a lot. No, that's Leila Petrali that was involved in it. Leila very unlucky to avoid that. I mean, it could be avoidable, but yeah, it was a bit too late to avoid it. A bit of a slide, yeah. Well, it is.
Yeah. Race continues on ahead with a few more laps left to go, about 5. I think it's been pretty eventful for Hunter Bridge simulation drivers for both Leila and Nova, as they both fall on to 24th and 21st respectively. Nova has been denied of a point scoring opportunity. But still, Jonas Karla, I think I talked about earlier that his lead could be a bit under threat a little bit, but he's really been proving the naysayers wrong. 52.3, and that's quite clear. His last lap has been a 52.4 compared to Mika Kimi. Just you can see in the background, has been a 52.9 his last lap. And in fact, I think that is going to continue ahead. No, actually, Hakimi's gone a little bit faster by about 0.2, but still, that's not going to be enough here in FS2. And Jonas Karla, so long has been trying to aim for his first win. Oh my goodness me, that would be someone on exit. That was Salagi who accelerated onto the grass, and Micha finds an opportunity to capitalize and is going to punch the McKenna Racing car up even more into the inside of the first turn. He goes, and clean as you like, he gets it through. Åkenhaug trying his best to fend off from Hayek. Hayek able to defend, but Lakowski, again, who has done so well to gain so many positions, is going to continue his charge up ahead against Magnus, but Magnus is going to look up against Dan, going to go side by side, and look at that, is unable to do so. Is Lakowski going to gain a position from this moment? We'll see. Out on the exit, it's going to swing round, does get past Hayek, and has got Åkenhaug next in his books. A fantastic move there by Cody to wait and see Hato shapes up and takes advantage of that.
Yep, brilliant move from Cody Nikola Lotkovsky, played it perfectly, and now he's on the hunt to overtake Magnus Åkenhaug. As we see also behind, because Ludwig is trying to go around the outside. Now he's trying to do a switchback. Look at Cody Nikola Lotkovsky. He's going to try to make a move on Magnus Åkenhaug, but Åkenhaug currently is like a wall, literally. He defends it perfectly, and going through turn 13 and 14 right now, the two penultimate corners, going through the backstretch now, as we call it, and now Lotkovsky has the DRS, but will he play strategically? Will he do the DRS chicken, or will he make the move? as I said, he makes the move around the outside.
No, doesn't.
No, he doesn't. As now, Ockenhaug and Hayek have DRS, and currently, it looks like both of them are going to overtake Kurt Nikola Latkovsky. As for the moment, as Nikola Latkovsky currently just defending here, and it's going to be really tight into turn 2, but at least there's no contact. It was quite close contact, but at least there wasn't any contact. As Kurt Nikola Latkovsky currently holds on to 10th place, but no, because look at Magnus Ockenhaug, he's trying to make a move around the outside. And so is Dan Hayek trying to make a move down the inside of Magnus Ockenhaug. But Ockenhaug has a great exit, and he's going to go wheel to wheel with Kurt Nikola Latkovsky. And Kurt Latkovsky holds it perfectly. And now he can cement 10th place.
Great battle there. Latkovsky does manage to punch up a few more places up ahead. And Magnus, is doing his best to defend himself from Hayek. Hayek has dropped down 2 places from a result of that. And that battle has not at all seen its end. Neither has this one between the battle between Glomsetter and Youngstra. As Glomsetter seemed to be just managed to make the overtake ahead. But the Dutchman might have something up in his sleeves for at least one more attempt. He's just barely about within the DRS zone, and he might lose it, but we'll see. As looking at his rear flap, he has lost it. But he's just going to hope that the slipstream could be enough to get himself back in once again. Through to the final quarter. They're going to go, and we're approaching over to our final lap of the race, and this is going to be the chance where all the positions are going to be solidified. Any more last battles, anything left in those tires, anything left in those drivers' energies for race 1, now's the time to completely use it, completely deplete it, completely instantly. And Youngstra still does not have the DRS onto the start-finish rate. I don't think he will have that momentum also. His best advantage is just to keep behind Glomsetter and just keep applying the pressure as he possibly can. Roquai and Laflamme still in a battle for P7, going to be going down to the inside of turn 1 through to the outside of turn 2. Roquai is going to go, but Laflamme won't budge, and through to 3 means that he will still hold on to 7th a bit for the time being. But look at this, still using the slipstream, still right on the back of Axel. James is going to do his best and absolutely give it his all on the exit. Look at this, looks for the outside, down for the switch back into the inside for this corner. Way too optimistic. Roquai spins round and will lose the position through to Matthias Wittmann as he gets up into P8, but further back Hayek has dropped even more positions. That's Ben Skinner, who's finally got to the point scoring position. He's up into 12th, and it's now going to be looking over to a charging Ockenhaug. Further back, Luvnik is still in 14th and is going to be barely holding on to it against Chris Davis. Chris Davis is going to look to the outside, coming over through to the double apex, getting a little bit of a push and a shove, and that allowed for Chris to lose another place. And the Camaro Racing Team for a Dream has turned into an absolute disaster, as Davis could be seen himself not scoring any points this race, which is super unfortunate. Jonas Corella through to the final corner. He has done everything he has possibly can. He has done everything he needs to do for a very long time. We have waited to see if he was going to get his first race win in FS2, but through to the final quarter, relatively unchallenged. He's done everything possible that he could do. Jonas Krala takes his first victory in Formula Sprint 2 as he wins race 1 here in the Malaysian Grand Prix. Mika Kimi through to the final quarter. No doubts here for Alka Internationals. They get their first podium here in the Sepang International Circuit, and Mika Kimi gets his first podium as well in this season. Christian Glomsetter keeps his podium streak alive, up in the 3rd, Tai Sungstra 4th. Magnus Okun against Ben Skinner through to the final corner, and Skinner has robbed Magnus out of P11 through to the final lap, and it's Orbit Motorsports that will just about by the skin of their teeth hold on to P11 as Casper Kurtz makes it up into P6. A very good showing there from Orbit for what has possibly happened to have been a really bad one. And the final point scoring goes to Hayek, Luvnik, Salagi, and further on back you can see that Leila Petragli through to the final quarter against Rafael Urham, and she will manage to take P23, but the Camerawork team doing his best to respond, but couldn't able to do so. Leila, the Italian driver, into P23 she goes, and also still further on back, that's Eamon Asabir and Nova McKenna in a little bit of a battle, and it is the Alta International driver that comes up just barely about ahead of Nova for P28. and Vincentievich in P30 completes over for 30 cars that have finished the race. And a quick overlook into the finishing order for race 1. Jonas Karla, many times over, we wondered if he was going to win a race, and now this time he has done it for the first time ever this season, for the first time ever in his career. He can call himself a race winner. Mika Kimi is the best place of the Malaysians, as he will be in second place, and Christian Glomsetter for Fox Esports is third. Tai Sungstra for Moldova drivers fourth, with Craig Patterson in fifth. Casper Kurrit's done very well in sixth for Orbit, with Axel Laflamme in seventh. Mark Mateus Whitman for Venus in eighth. James Ruckey does score his first points in ninth, and Cody Nagorkowski up into P10. Very good there from the Mates VO driver. Through to P11 is Ben Skinner for Orbit Motorsports, who's done pretty well as well. Without that spin, it really could have been how many more positions he would have gained. Magnus Ockenheim for Fox Esports is in 12th, in the midst of no man's land for how much battling he had to endure for Fox. Tan Hayek for Moldova drivers 20th is 13th. Mitchell Lufnik for McKenna Racing is 14th, with Mark Zalagi completing over through to the points finishes here at race 1 for Killer Racing 15th. Alex Day for McMass Motorsports just narrowly misses out in 16th, same with Chris Davis for Camera Racing Team in 17th. Amir Hazik for Hub Performance Engineering is 18th, with Alfie White for McKenna Racing 19th, and David Yunt for Killer Racing completes over through to the top 20. Through over to P21, it was Anthony Duval for GPVWC Academy 21st. Rafael Urham again narrowly beats Leila Petralia for 22nd and 23rd. Hansko Mebus for 24th. Pessy Mikutin, a really sign of what could have been for the Mapes Europe drivers. He suffered with the front wing, but he will be very happy with the positions he gained in 25th. Jonas Lepit for Hub Performance is 26th, with Courtney Krzminski for VMS in 27th. Eamon Asapir from International is 28th, beats Nova McKenna to the line for 29th. And Mihailo Vicentievich for ST Racing completes over through to the finishing 30 cars, with our only retirements only beat Andrei Canalia in the early stage of the race, and Alfie Denley with the collision with Nova McKenna in 31st. That has been it for the 32 cars at the grid. Race 1 has been already very exciting for 17 laps, but we still got one more race to go. 14 laps we have for race 2, and we'll get to wait for you to see who could be victorious in race 2. And on top of that, our reverse starting order for the second race. But until then, we're going to take a very short break. Me and Juho are going to catch our breath, and Remco will bring you to this very exciting footage and a soon graphic.
Inside a place of... On the next pretzels. Kelty seat, the coffee beanery, Tyrek.
Flat out. Oh no! Oh no! Who's round? It's Magnussen. Oh, it's going to be a touch moment. It's in the barrier. Oh, they spun. Oh, this is a carnage.
And Menocon's going to win.
God.
It's a double pass. Could they take each other off? They don't. And Flack slide. It's a victory for the Tuties. They touch. They're now. Oh no!
Soriano's gone around and met the wall. Mitchell will go through. Does it go uphill into turn 4? Oh, round the outside. What a fabulous move.
Frelick will use all of his as well. Here he comes. He makes a move. They touch. They run wide. And Munio's going to get it. We're going 3 wide. Look at
Sing.
contact. Oh, my goodness. Tyne has lost a wheel.
Time's out.
The dramatic race that we were teeing up the entire time has come to an end.
The engines roar as we slowly see the concluding of our second warm-up. Thank you all very much for waiting along. The 5th round of the Formula Sprint 2 2026 season does not end there, though. Seen 17 laps, we now got 13 laps of a sprint race here, as the 32 cars around the track are going to go through to this exciting endeavor once again. Remco Zeeuw once again, and the broadcast director, big thanks to him for following us through all, not just in FS2 but throughout all the other disciplines as well in GPVWC. He's been very phenomenal as always. And Juho Sopanen joined again alongside me once again, and Juho, you can break to us the news of who is going to be on reverse grid today.
Drum roll, please. It's gonna be Mika Luvik.
Luvik.
So from P14, this will be a reverse grid. So basically, Mika Luvik will take a pole position, and I don't know if you finished where. So I've got to see who finished where last race. So
Luvik gets, if Luvik gets P14, so that means that the reverse grid will be like that. That's McIntyre's Racing first reverse grid pole, I believe, this year, and also the 3rd time this season that an Irish team has gotten reverse grid as well. Mika Kimi got reverse pole in Suzuka, Alex Day got reverse pole, I believe, back in Jeddah, and Luvik now continues on that tradition. So it really is the luck of the Irish, as we've we assumed that back in Suzuka, Emil Lorenzo, and St. Patrick's Day. And we thought, oh, the Shamrock, how nice. But the Shamrock continues that tradition over to the other side, as St. Patrick's Day still continues. It is still very, very lucky. But yeah, good for Nietzsche. We'll see what he's able to do. Previously started on the front row in race 2, and he actually got himself into a race 1 that still stood. So we could expect to see maybe something similar, or given the wideness of the track, maybe it could be something completely different. Maybe it could be seen under threat from other cars coming through behind. But also with that in mind, also Lakowski and Skinner are going to be in higher grid positions than before. So that's going to apply even more pressure to those that are starting on the front row as well. But we will have a look at the starting grid of the we'll look at the starting grid of race 2 in just a very few moments. But with that in mind, the second one has indeed seen its conclusion. Still the same 32 cars in race 1, and still the same 32 cars are ready for race 2. And with that in mind, we can slowly go on to the start of the grid as the cars make their way on track.
Right, so the grid is forming up currently, and I'm sorry to cut in there, Amir. I just thought I wanted to do this as I wanted to. So, yeah. So currently it looks like there are some cars in the pits still, but we'll still wait. But either way, it's gonna be a P14 reverse grid. So we're shortly gonna get to the grid. And we're going to shortly get into the formation up as well. But at the moment, the battle commences for Sepang here in Malaysia. So now we can go through the grid as everybody's now doing their formation lap. So it seems like it's going to be Mika Luvik on pole position, and Dan Hayek will be second. Third will be Magnus Okenhaug, and fourth will be Ben Skinner. But then further down the road, in the 5th place, we've got Nikola Latkovsky, who is aiming for his first race win. James Rockwell in 6th, Mark Matthias Whitman 7th, and 8th will be Axel Laflamme. The 9th will be Kasper Kuritz, 10th will be Craig Patterson, Dennis Jokers 11th, and Christian Glamstetter is 12th. But then in 13th, we've got Mika Hakimi, who finished on the podium, and Jonas Garro, who takes his first win in 14th now. 15th will be Mark Shilagi, Alex Day will be 16th, but then in 17th we got Chris Davis, and 18th our local boy Amir Zeeuw. Alfie White is 19th, and 20th is David Yunt. But then in 21st we've got Anthony Duval, 22nd is Rafael Arhem, Lena Petralia in 23rd, and in 24th will be Hansko Mebius. Then in 25th we've got Pessi Mikkonen, and then 26th we've got Johannes Leppit. 27th is Korin Szyminski, and 28th will be Eamon Elsevier. And the drivers that will line up around the last grid, we've got Löwen McKenna in 29th, Mihailo Vicentijevic 30th, 31st is Alfie Denley, and 32nd will be Andrea Kinalia. So, Amir, what do you expect from this race, and who do you think will challenge for the win, or at least win the race?
Hard to say. I think race 2 is kind of a bit more muddled than race 1 because I think we don't really have the critical bite, but also considering the the qualifying penalties that we have seen implemented in race 1, it was pretty even hard to determine if Jonas was able to fend off that well, but he managed to do, and I think he probably would have been able to do it regardless if there was an incident behind or not, because his pace was very, very good. Luvnik, Hayek done very well, but Aukenhag, as we consider, he has been around that P10, P11 for most of the race, and it was just up until like Skinner or Lakowski came around that he kind of dropped off, but now he's got to worry about those two coming right behind. So honestly, it's not as clear cut as it may seem, but it's quite undetermined. But I'm looking forward to a very exciting race as the 32 cars slowly start to line up at the grid. 31 actually, we've just missed one other driver.
Yep, excitement is tensing up here in Malaysia, as I don't know if there's going to be lights, but we will shortly get into the race as throttles, the RPMs are rising currently, and here we go. The grid's lined up, and it's going to be 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights, and we are go! And Mika Luvin gets a great start, but look at Thijs Jongstra going. Wait, Dan Hayek, who's going to go through the lead possibly, but currently Mika Luvin is trying to motor with Dan Hayek, and Dan Hayek is currently in the lead, but there's contact between those two, so that will hinder Dan Hayek a little bit. Further down the back, Magnus Aukenhag has made places. Oh dear! That's Cody Nikolowski. He's missing a tire.
That's his retirement. Yeah, he's missing the retirement. That's the wheel going flying around. That's going to be catching debris, and that was someone else losing a wheel as well. That was Layla. So we've already had 2 retirements in the span of just the 3 corners. I had to look to see the replay to see what happened, because I think it was one of the cars that I think Cody thought he had it clear, but was unable to do so, and they couldn't really quite determine from it coming behind. But that's devastating for the McIntyre driver, as his quest to get a race win will continue into the next round, and we'll call it quits. That's his 2nd race 2 retirement this season. His first being Suzuka, and this time being around here in Sepang. Very, very devastating. And thank you very much, Lorenzo, who has clearly pointed out for me that Mark Matthias Whitman is the retirement, is the person that did not show up. He has suffered from a Wi-Fi connection issue, and that means that Vimas Senets is now down to just 1 driver, but already devastating news as we've lost 2 drivers,
Yeah, we've lost also Mihailo Vicentijevic and Leila Petrali, so those are maybe the cars that were involved in that incident, maybe a separate incident. But look at Mika Luvink, he's almost sliding, but we get a replay here. So let's see what happened here. Axel Flam is currently, that's Axel Flam. Yep, and he's
go 3 wide. It was 3 wide, and we've seen that incident happen before already, and it's just 1 bad miss, and then that's just all it takes. I think I can't remember who it was that we've seen that happen with, but here we go. Look a bit of a replay to see what happened down into the inside, and bang, that's it. Nothing really Laflamme can do. Can try to steer out, but with the contradicting forces between each other, that's happened. And you can see Laflamme's already. And there's what happened between Layla that we have seen without the front left wheel. And there we go. That is what happened to. That's what happened to Mihailo Vicentijevic right on the background. A complete another flip, and carnage still continues into turn 4. This is completely. It's absolutely chaotic already. Just people didn't know what exactly happened. Layla's lost her. I just realized Layla's lost her back wheel as well as her front wheel, and is continuing to drive. And carnage with Mihailo means that incident has happened. Mihaela was way too close. Mihaela was way too close to make that overtake on Layla. A car is already damaged. You have to take avoiding action when you possibly can. And he thought he might as well shave a few seconds. And unfortunately for Mihaela, it did not work out in that way whatsoever. But that is one of the weirdest crashes I've ever saw.
Yeah,
he leaves right in front of her and carries with her as well. Look at that rotation. Look at how many times that he's pirouetted into the sky, and he loses even more wheels than Layla does and calls it in and calls it quits. So that's what happened to our 3 retirements. Again, super chaotic, and especially from the traffic that we've seen into turn 3, but the race will still go on. Hayek has now got the lead ahead from Mitchen now, and Ben Skinner and Casper. The Orbit Motorsports are P3 and P4 going to do their best to recover from what they have lost at the start of race 1, and Ben Skinner definitely a man on a charge. They're going to look against an overtake against Mitch over into the final corner. A little bit too much, a little bit of a hit onto the back end, but the gentleman does not seem to be at all deterred by that. Right on exit, can see someone a little bit onto the gravel, but the race will still go on ahead. Jonas Carla up into P9 from starting in the lead, P14 actually. So he's doing his best to try and make it a 2-double. And there you can see the background. That is someone that spun around. That is Alfie White, and does manage to recover his car. It's still in one piece, but loses out on P14 and regains it back immediately as Urham goes spinning a little bit on the exit out of turn 1. So Alfie very, very lucky to have still held on to P14 from that. But so, again, another replay to have seen what has happened. And this is him. He was running against, this is behind me here, and this is against Chris Davis into turn 1. Is it a little bit of a bump draft that maybe might have happened between the two? If he's got hit from behind, then it's completely unstable, especially when your rear flap is open. And that could be a little bit, this could be a bit of an issue heading to Chris Davis's way if it turns out to be, but hard to see from this issue up to the discipline committee, of course. None of these results indeed stand up to the discipline committee's permission to have a look ahead. Ben Skinner almost looks into the inside, not able to do so. Actually, Casper Currents has gotten to P3, Ben Skinner down to P4. So the Orbit Motorsports drivers have indeed swapped positions, and they did work together pretty well previously back in, I think it was in Bahrain it was, and in Jeddah. So again, that's the advantage of having just similar pace drivers. They can work together, work each other, and do the best to claim as much as the benefit for the team as they possibly can. Alfie White is dropping down even more as he's now from P15 right down to P20. So something even worse has happened to the McKenna racing driver. In fact, he's completely fallen off completely. But I don't know, he's managed to get up back into P20 though. So he's managed to recover pretty well. Rockwise still on with him. Is going to do his best to challenge over 3. A little bit wide on the exit, that is from Casper. And Ben Skinner, able to use the DRS, is going to try his best to fend back. And it's a battle between an Orbit and Orbit 1. They want to make it as quick as they possibly can because Ludwig is kind of pulling away 1.8 seconds. And this is not at all that they want. But look at this, Rockway going to try and insert himself into this picture for the Battle of the Orbits, as it's kind of a little bit similar to what we have seen before in Bahrain. But this time it's going to be a battle for P3. Rockway to do his absolute best to battle with them all, but he's got Casper to worry about. But through to the inside line of turn 3, and he will happily take P4. Casper doing his best to retaliate, almost looks over to the middle of the track, but Rockway doesn't budge, holds on to the middle still, and Casper, my goodness me, on from the outside, which now becomes the inside line, means that I will take P4, thank you very much, and P4 he will collect.
Yep, indeed, as Casper Curious is currently just trying to earn from James Rockway. Not bad from James Rockway, honestly. He's done really good already. I was looking at Alex today trying to defend from... Oh, never mind, we're switching to Craig Patterson and Mika Hakimi. They are both battling so hard. It's so hard to tell what's going to happen next, because there might be a contact or anything, because it's always happens sometimes. But either way, everything looks to be clean at the moment. And Hakimi is losing time, and Chris Davis has catched back up to Mika Hakimi. And here we go. Mika Hakimi is going to go down the inside, but he has kind of slowed down because Craig Patterson has completely went wide and then come back onto the racing line.
Patterson, Davis just looking on the outside, but is unable to do so. Patterson has cleared Hakimi, but look at this, a lock up there from Mika onto the final corner, and a little bit of a tank slapper means that, again, put a gap between Patterson and Hakimi just pulls away a little bit more, and Chris Davis is the one that's going to be the next that Mika has to really worry about in into turn 1. You can see everyone starting to make positions, but look at this, Mika has already used the DRS down into the inside of turn 1 against Craig. A little bit of a wheel banging, but Mika will happily take that position, and Craig has it with the tank slapper, means that he makes a collision with Chris Davis, but this time it'll be Craig that will hold on to P12, and Chris falls in still into P13, but Mika, what an opportunistic overtake that is. Chris Davis is not going to budge or accept this one bit, and he's going to look into the inside through to the hard braking zone, and he does able to do so, will do so. Up into P12 he's going to go. Up ahead you can just see Glomsetter and Alex Day in a battle, and Jonas Karla going to try his best to insert himself again into this picture, right on exit there through to turns 9 and 10 of the double apex, and super close, but not made just yet. I think they're all waiting for their turn into turn 9 is, sorry, that was 7 and 8. A yellow flag into the second sector already. So we've already had so many retirements, I've just realized, and Alfie Denley is one of those. So I've just realized, looking at the timing screen, so many people have retired actually. So Denley, Meebus,
look at this,
Salagi as well. So this is the replay to have seen what's happened. Is he already crabbing at this point, because he's already gone off track, and he does call it quits. But
yeah, he does call it quits.
Yeah, he did call it quits, but he's already off track at that point. So it was an incident that has happened. This is a replay with Corin Krasminski. Yeah, that is, and hangs the wheel and just goes off track, and Alfie thinks that that's really it and done for. Pesci is also retired as well from the race, so that's so many retirements that we've seen and we've kind of missed out on. ST Racing goes for a DNF once again. This is Pesci. This is on a course with Eamon into turn 1 and doesn't really take it through. Got tagged from behind. Got tagged from behind by Nova McKenna, and Pesci. Wow, that was just a hard hit into the wall, and a retirement there. Just one tap from behind, and it completely, you lose all sort of control from that. And Nova having that tag means that, unfortunately, the Mapes VO finds themselves with a double DNF for the first time ever, I believe, in this season. But Misha Luvnik, though, going to be in his quest for his second race win. Dan Hayek goes in quest for his first race win this season. I think it might also be for the first time ever in his career, GPVWC career, I think. I'm not sure, but someone do give me the stats on that, and I'll happily read them up for you. But Corin's Youngstra, biggest position gainers onto the field, at least into the top 10. Jonas Lepet, look at him, he's gained 11. And Canalia, who's into P19, with everyone else DNFing, has gained 13. So everyone is just really jostling for positions, aren't they? And look at this, Glomsetter and Takimi in a battle for P10. Takimi makes his way on through. Oh my goodness me, a bit of a tank slap on the exit with the grass means that Glomsetter might get himself back up into P10 side by side between these two through to the third sector. And the Elk International is doing his absolute best to fend off from the Fox Esports driver. Right on the exit, it's going to be the battle of the animals between Fox and Elk. And right onto the exit, though, using for the DRS, using the slipstream, Christian is going to able to look to the inside onto the final corner. He's doing his best to try and keep his championship challenge. Chigbet's going to keep it going alive. Kimi tries to turn in a little bit too early and find himself caught off a bit about that on exit, and that's going to allow for Craig Patterson and Chris Davis going to take proper full advantage of this. How is Craig Patterson going to respond to this? A little bit of a tap, but not too much, and the slipstream again so advantageous for him that again Mika has found himself back into contention for P10, swings his way through to the outside of turn 1 against Christian, which now comes into the inside onto turn 2, and hoping to defend himself from Christian means that he will cement P10, and P10 he does cement just about barely. Duval drops a couple of places, and that might be someone that has been involved in an incident. Glomsetter looks over to the outside line, but Mika does defend himself pretty well, but that tank slap on the exit means it's not going to allow him to do any favors, and Glomsetter swings his way around through, and maybe with enough of a gap, and yes, he does so. I think Mika just on the outside has got no choice but to back off and have to find another way to attack Christian.
Yep, indeed, as someone's dropped down pretty much, but Mika Hakimi did a really great counter-attack, and that's Amir Hazik. Oh, that's just going really bad for him, unfortunately. The second home hero has a very bad day. in the office. Let's see what happened here. This is
Alfie White behind.
yeah, Alfie White behind.
Inside.
Oh
And
no!
gets tagged from behind.
Whoa!
And tags Eamon Asabir with him. So that is already a lot of things to unpack there. So Eamon is suffering from suspension damage from that contact. Anthony Duval was the one that was dropping off a lot. And oh boy, that is contact that he's found himself into the grass. And super unfortunate there. The Academy driver does join back. But again, loses out a lot of positions in the process.
A little bit unsafe, that one, that rejoin from Anthony Duval, but I think that's just me thinking about that. But either way, Anthony Duval's just trying to capitalize on what he has lost and what he can gain, because currently Neville McKenna and Andre Canalia, they are both fighting here for track position here for 19th, and Anthony Duval is looking to benefit from all of this. So McKenna,
Mitchell Lipnick has dropped off. I just realized Mitchell Lipnick has dropped off. He's dropped from P2 to P6. So something has happened to him, and Duval has been caught off, and he has also dropped down the order. So again, there's just so much stuff that's happening. But Mitchell Lipnick was at one point challenging for the lead, and now gets Casper Kurtz. What Casper Kurtz down into the inside? Oh my goodness me!
Goodness.
What a send that was! What was that send? Oh my goodness me, that was out of nowhere. Luvnik did not see it. Luvnik did not expect it coming. Super opportunistic there from Casper. Just way, that was from a postcode away, and just completely had to look to the inside. No, that wasn't. That was Ben Skinner actually. My apologies. But yeah, that was Ben Skinner with the send onto the inside of Micha. So that's what happened between Ben Skinner, because he's also dropped as well, and.
This is desperation. Desperation.
The space was there. The space was there, but Ben could not keep control of his car in that sort of zone, and as a result, he really has to. Well, he's paid the price for. He's dropped over to P7. They might drop down even more, but we'll have to see. Race will continue on. Misha Luvnik has been kind of lost that privilege to challenge for the lead now, and really has to just look for it and said, okay, what can I do out of this situation now? As well, the Dutchman will not be able to repeat his race 2 successes in Jeddah, but could do with a pretty good recovery drive. Alex Day a little bit onto the grass. But attention up ahead, Jonas Carlo with that incident finds himself up into P8 and finds himself challenging Luvnik and Skinner, and could go for points maximizing here in this case over into the inside of turn 1. Hakimi and Glomset are also battling as well, but we'll see over. Ben Skinner does his best to defend, and through to turn 3, a brilliant overtake against Micha, and Ben Skinner gets into P6. He's now got Okinawa to try and catch up, but it's got 1.6 seconds. Still, the battle's not over. Micha looking over to the outside line, not able to do so. He's going to try and look to the inside, outside again, as he's managed to catch Ben Skinner's exit a little bit off, but no, Ben Skinner does cement it and says, well, P6 is certainly mine now, now and forever. Lap 9 of 13, Hayek now leads pretty comfortably. Kritsminski gets pushed off a little bit on the exit out by Kinalia, who's still on a rapid charge up for the field after starting quite far off. He's now into P18. 14 there, you can see the positions. He's gained 14 places, and Cordian loses a little bit out on the exit, still holds on to P19, but yeah, this has been absolute carnage, hasn't it, Juho? Just chaos straight from the top, right in the midfield, right down to the lower midfield, to the back markers, to all the retirements that we've seen. And Eamon Astabir does go into the pits after the damage that he has sustained from the multiple incidents that he must have suffered, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it has been carnage, but you got to feel for Mika moving. He's done a really great job, but unfortunately, with that platform from Ben Skinner, it's lost him out a lot. So look at him. He's going to go down the side of Jonas Kaurala. Really good move, but Jonas will have the benefit of the DRS, and he might go through, but there's also Alex Day behind. But yeah, I mean, thinking about the championship for Ben Skinner, currently, oh my goodness gracious.
That's going to be mad. 3 wide, going to go into turn 1. Jonas Carla's going to have the inside line, and Luvnik is going to do his best to fend off for P8. Not 7 is he able to do so.
A little contact there.
He's his best, and fantastic defense there by Luvnik means that he holds on to P7 by the skin of his teeth. And Alex Day and Carl have to figure out new ways to try and overtake him and each other. And look at this, a little bit of a bump draft coming up ahead. Carl looking over to the inside. but the gap is not there, and he knows that that's why it's to back off as Lufnik goes a little bit wide off track. Carla does as well, and Alex Day could find himself in a position to overtake Carla, unable to do so though. Back into a single file line for all of them.
Yeah, indeed, as well, it was a bit of a dicey battle there, and very, very risky from Lufnik to defend like that. By the way, that's racing. No contact made, like massive contact that would send both Jonas and Mika out, and possibly Alex Day out. But Jonas goes wide, and look at Alex Day. He's going to benefit from all of that because of his exit. But he's kind of twitched on the exit. So, oh, look at Jonas. He's again gone off, and as we see also, that's Ockenhau dropping down some places. He's gone a bit wide. And now look at Hakimi as well, benefiting all from that. Oh, no!
Yeah, that's unfortunate there, but the race still goes on with about 4 laps left to go. Hakimi from P10 has dropped all the way down to P13 as a result from that, and Alex Day finds himself in the back between Craig Patterson and Ockenhag, going to be going almost 3 wide. Day almost on the look for it, but is unable to do so. Patterson makes his way through, bit too wide though, and unable to defend himself from Ockenhag. So, but no, he has actually managed to do it though, and defend himself he does. Race still continues on. Day first one to break through the toe, joins back into the toe, and it's going to be Ockenhag that's going to look over 3. Alex Day's going to look over around 3 wide. We're going to see through turn 1 once again, and Craig Patterson sees himself mauled by 2 cars. First it's going to be by Ockenhag as he's going to hold on to the inside line through turn 2 on the exit out of turn 3, but no, Patterson still does his best. He holds on to his line, and this is a tense battle we're seeing here in the battle for P10, and it's still not going to be over yet. Day's going to look over to the inside, but I don't think it's going to be quite close enough against Craig, and he's going to have to worry about madness, and that's a very poor exit out there from Day. That means Mika's going to try and look to take an opportunity of it. He's unable to do so. He will still remain in P13.
Well held from Mika Hakimi, but what was going on there? As Kasper Kuris has catched up to Dan Hayek, and now he's about to challenge for the lead of the race as well. So aspirations for the title here for Kasper Kuris, and he wants to gain more points and still keep in the title fight, even though it's already 5 rounds gone. And Dan Hayek, well, he's an outsider of the championship, but he wants that first win of the season. He's desperate for it, so he's going to try to push as much as possible. But either way,
He's out of all the races that he's done, he's competed since 2021, his first appearance in Formula Sprint 2, and throughout those races that he has done, including like up to this point about 75 or 76 around that, or about 80 I think, he has never managed to get a podium, let alone a race win in this time, and Hayek could well and truly be in a course to put all those to aside and get his first podium, his first win of his GPVWC FS2 career. But he has to defend himself from someone that just accomplished that accolade back in Suzuka in the form of Kasper. And well, Kasper is on course for a championship challenge, of course, with his teammate, and also to try and get Orbit to that very good position of holding onto the constructors and running away with it. So you can just feel the anticipation coming between Orbit and also Emerald Overdrive as well, because not only is Hayek in the lead, but Thijs Youngstra is third and could well and truly make an Emerald Overdrive 1-2 if things were to turn around their way, and Hayek has to do the absolute defending of his life to get that accolade and to also get Emerald Overdrive to that very, very impressive achievement that they have accomplished this season, especially for a new team as well, keep in mind you, because no other new team has managed to accomplish that feat yet.
Yeah, indeed, and look at the guy in 4th place. It's James Rockway in 4th place, and he might actually be on a chance of battle for the podium as well, with 2 laps to go, 5/10 gap, but never say never in Formula Sprint 2, because anything can happen. It still looks like a Moto3 race around here, but either way, it's gonna be insane what we're gonna see. And Mika Lufnik's dropping down. Oh no, he's dropped down more places. Now he's down to 13th.
Something's happened to him, so a bit of a replay. Mike can recap what has happened to Lufnik. This is the second time he's dropped down for the order. First time it was the contact with Skinner. This time it's going to be in the exit out of the hairpin. Going to be under pressure from, I believe that is from Jonas, hitting through the grass. and way wide he goes. He does manage to recover and gets into a point scoring position, but yeah, it's gone a bit from bad to worse for McKenna Racing and their points haul. As you can just see, there are a couple of cars that have overtaken, so quite not yet over and done with for Lufnik, as he's got David Young to kind of worry about. A retirement in the form of Anthony Duval means that we've got quite a number of cars already retired. Like, so many. We're almost approaching like 8 at this point. And still, the battles will continue on. That's White and Urham exchanging positions. Lepet and Kuzminski also exchanging positions. But attention up ahead for the final lap of the race between Casper, Dan, and Tice. Tice is going to be behind Casper to try and get up into P3. Casper's completely on his own after the incident with Ben Skinner, so it's not exactly how he might have envisioned this race of his to kind of go, as he's to find himself defend and attack two Emerald Overcar drivers. And Tice Youngstra gonna try his best to get that ever so likely 1-2 on their hand. But the question is there gonna be enough for Youngstra to defend? How can Hayek do to facilitate his teammate for this accolade? Time was surely gonna tell as we're approaching for halfway of the track left to go. Still, it's not gonna be quite over yet between Hayek and Curtis and Youngstra as they're gonna navigate over through to the closing stages of the track, just through to the final 3 corners, through turns 12, out of the exit through 13, heartbreaking so through 14, a bit of a wiggle on the exit from Hayek. Is this the opening that Casper Kurz has been looking for? It might well truly be. The DRS is wide open for the Uber Motorsports driver. Youngstra unable to take advantage of it and to able to help his teammate through to the final corner for turn 15. It's going to be close. It's going to be going right down through to the very wire. Hayek, no choice but to take through to the inside line. Both make a bit of contact on the exit out. 3 car wide on the exit on the straight, and there's this Hayek is going to get cut for the final corner, and he's going to claim his first win in FS2. Tice Youngstra beats Casper Kurz to the line, and Emerald Overtrap get their 1-2. They get their 1-2 at the end, at the very last moment. The slipstream from Hayek allowed for that to happen. Hakimi also goes through to the line and narrowly just beats Magnus Okanak to round off for a top 10 finish. But my goodness me, Emerald Overdrive did it. I didn't think it was going to be likely Juho after the incident that Hayek had on the exit of turn 14. But Emerald Overdrive did it. The American outfit has gotten a 1-2, and Dan Hayek has finally, long awaited, got his first Formula Sprint 2 race win.
First podium, first race win on his 76th attempt. Dan Hayek, you are a race winner in Formula Sprint 2. An amazing race this has been. Oh, an amazing event as well. Malaysia, Sepang, well done. You have delivered. Either way, I hope this keeps on going for the Formula Sprint 1 event as well, as we get to the results of the race. Dan Hayek on his 76th attempt takes his first win and his first podium. Tice Youngstra makes it an Emerald Overdrive 1-2. Casper Kurz missed out on the win, but still keeps third place. James Rockwhite, 4th for Scuderia Freccianera, best finish for him this season. Ben Skinner finishes 5th. Joris Gaudela finishes 6th. 7th is Chris Davis, clumps at 8th. Patterson 9th, and Mika Hakimi rounds out the top 10. But then further down the road, we got Magnus Hockenhaug finishing in 11th, Mika Löwing in 12th, David Jon in 13th, Alfie Watt 14th, Rafael Arhem completes the finishing order of the points scoring positions. Andrei Canalia will be 16th, Johannes Lepid 17th, Colin Szyminski 18th, Alex Day 19th, and Noah McKenna rounds out the top 20. 21st, Amir Haziq, 22nd, Ayman Azabir, 23rd, Anthony Duval, who retired. Actually, Amir Haziq retired, so Ayman Azabir could be 21st. So your retirements are Anthony Duval, Bessie Mikkonen, Alfred Denley, Hans Kamebius, Axel Afram, Mark Shilagi, Lena Petralia, and Mihailo Vicentievich, but there's still more on the retirement list, as there is...
is the only other one. Yeah,
the only other one.
And that's Mark Matthias Whitman, who didn't turn up as well from internet issues, but that has been us for here at Sepang. And my goodness me, what a race we have. Well, I thought it was very unlikely after the conclusion that we've seen in Suzuka, where we got 2 first time ever FS2 winners. And well, I can't believe I'm going to say this again, but we have got another achievements here for some drivers in the form of Dan Hayek and Jonas Karla, and both are very, very as heartfelt as the other, I must say. And Moldova Drive get their first 1-2, their first ever time for a new team this season to have ever achieved that accolade, and that has done wonders for them in the championship, and absolutely incredible from there. So with that in mind, we have got a couple of interviews to go through, but we'll give a little bit of a wait to see what's happened. But Juho, a bit of a talking back to have seen what's happened in those 2 races. That has been absolutely phenomenal, hasn't it?
Yeah, the highlights of the race. I feel like if there was a highlights reel of this race, I think the highlight reel should be also Dan Hayek and Thijs Youngstra and Casper Courage fighting for a win and a 1-2, and that was insane as well. I lost my momentum as well. Well, you gotta say also, Jonas Karla, I mean, he's done it. He's won his first race as well. And we've got 2 different race winners today, and the first race winners as well, Dan Hayek and Jonas Karla. And speaking of which, I'll tell you, it has been an amazing, amazing race, to be fair. And honestly, Nathaniel Skarupa might be absolutely screaming, because either way, he's achieved his first 1-2 in Formula Sprint 2. But bloody well done from them as well.
I did it swears, which makes it even better. So that in mind, that has been us here for the footage here in oh, I see. So I see why Mateus is in the interview now. Okay, that in mind, we can now look over to the interviews for a very short now we swiftly transition. Swoop. Thank you very much, Remco. Oh. Okay, ignore that. Ignore that picture. We'll get to. We've got another one, so don't worry about that. Children, close your eyes. So thank you very much, Remco. You can now open up your eyes again. So thank you very much. But yeah, out into the interviews now we go. And well, Juho, I think it is only fair that you get to nominate who we get to interview first.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna take the first one. The first 1-2 drivers. Here they are. Thijs Youngstra, Nathaniel Skarupa, and Dan Hayek. First of all, Dan Hayek, on your 76th attempt, well done. You got your first win and your first podium. How does this feel for you?
I mean, it's great, because I didn't expect it to happen. Well, I mean, obviously I've had a lot of races, but I didn't expect it to happen this early on with this team. But yeah, it's been great. It's not been easy. I drove like a donkey for like 2 laps after Ben Skinner had his accident. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the first race was chaotic, but to be fair, you got that perfect start as well. Take me through that opening lap as well.
I mean, I know I've had good starts this year. I don't know what exactly changed. It's been really good. I've been having really good starts, and I mean, I knew I was at a massive disadvantage because around the outside in Turn 1 doesn't really work around this track. So yeah, I managed to somehow stick around the outside thanks to, what was it, Matthias something? I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but yeah. I'm also very grateful for Ben Skinner for that incident. That was pretty good to see, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened, but I mean, yeah, I understand. And Nathaniel, your first 1-2, I've known you for a while now, but bloody well done. You've got your first 1-2 and first win. I apologize for my language as well. 2 times, so a double apology. But how does this feel?
I mean, obviously it feels great, and well, you know, At first, I was a little nervous because, well, I just came back from a physics final. So when I saw Dan still leading and Jongsha right behind, I was like, "Oh my God, please!" So I did. I mean, of course I saw a lot of the predicament that happened for the second race. So I mean, yeah, we are of course very lucky, but you know, you have to be there at the right time to pick off the right places. And yeah, I'm very proud of my boys, my two guys. They did really well today.
Yeah, they did very well. I gotta be honest. And Thijs, 4th place and 2nd place. I mean, you took that second place from Casper on the final lap as well. I mean, talk us through that as well.
Well, yeah. It started a few corners before that because I saw Dan make a slight mistake into I think it's the penultimate corner, which caused Casper, of course, to get side by side with him. So I knew there was something gonna happen, and I just tried for the switchback, and it worked out with a little bit of help from my teammate, of course. But yeah, it worked out in the end. It was really good. I was already happy with the podium, but this is even better.
Yep, indeed. And Amir, do you have any questions for the Emerald Overdrive team?
Well, what can I say? It's been very fantastic. Dan, your 81st races in Formula Sprint 2, and on your 82nd, you finally managed to get your very well-deserved race win. On your end, Thijs Youngster, it's another well-deserved podium added to your books. Finest margins, very, very close. And Nathaniel, again, on your first ever team principal, you've got an accolade many team bosses dreamed of having an FS2, and that's a 1-2. Question for you all three. With this momentum held up in the end at the end of round 5, how do you all feel individually for your goals or aspirations for to, let's say, half of the season, shall we say?
What was the next race again? Is it Imola by any chance?
Canada.
Montreal.
Montreal. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about that, but then Imola is coming right after that, no? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for Imola. That's all I'll say. Montreal. I think that's gonna be a bit bad, but yeah, Imola's gonna be where we repeat this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess. I at least we hope to continue this momentum for both Dan and Thijs. Both drivers are doing well, amazing, and also to the help of Matuiz. He's been a real help to me, and also getting the speed that Dan and Thijs are really looking for. And yeah, it's thanks to him and these two that we are where we are, and at least I hope to see them do as well as they are doing now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Dan. Canada is probably not my best track, but Imola should be better. And to be fair, my worst tracks have already been driven on, so I think it can only go better and better this season. So yeah, I'm feeling confident that we can do this again and get a lot more points for the team and individually as well. So should be a good season still to come.
Well, okay. That's all very good news. And also one more question for Mateusz Prischka, very last minute for yourself, but you must be very thrilled with yourself as team manager.
I'm stressing right now, mate. I'm stressing right now. I have a party on PSG Bayern. It's 5-4.
Okay.
Mateusz, quick question. Must be proud for Emerald trying to get 1-2. How do you feel the course for? What are your goals or aspirations for this team heading forward? With the next one
I've seen the potential of the team since day one, since I've joined around Australia. Happy for Dan, happy for Thijs. I was in VC with Kaspar. I manipulated him into staying behind Dan. And also, well, yeah, I'm seeing. Of course, not to be pessimistic, but I think this was a 1 in a million round with the 1-2. I know Thijs can be fast, but Dan before the race told me if he scores points, then it's a miracle. And yeah, I think that's it. Don't know what else to say.
Thank you very much to all the Emerald Overdrive team principal, team manager, and both your drivers. Incredibly well performance from all of you four here today, and best of luck for the season ahead. We're looking forward to have your interviews again.
And well done on your 1-2.
You're.
Alright. By the way, I think Amir, do you want to take your next pick on the interviews?
Yes, Jonas, hello. Nice to see you again. Your first ever race win in FS2. You must be extremely thrilled with it. Can you please describe how you're feeling in Finnish?
Discordi veti vähän temppuja tossa alussa.
Oh, I didn't expect you to actually do Jesus.
I got disconnected from Discord when I lined up on the grid. I was trying to get back on the Discord, but the countdown started, so I had to quickly get off the line, and somehow I made it into P1. Sorry.
You've taken a lot of races getting up for this moment, and I'm sure you must have been.
Yeah.
How did you feel whenever that line crossed? Because
I was watching behind the whole time, praying that they won't catch me, and luckily there was some incidents. What I heard. That gave me some breathing room, and all I had to do was maintain the pace, and it's worked out for me.
Race 2 was a little bit more hectic on your end than the easy road to victory that you've had, but you've still did very, very good. How did you feel having started from P14 and made up the order as much as you did, especially with the incidents that were happening, not just ahead of you, but also from behind you?
Yeah, that was very interesting race too. I was sending it a lot in some of the corners, but luckily I didn't get into any incidents and just kept out of those. I saw a few people go off at the end.
Oh,
so I believe Misha went off one of the last few laps. It was not easy going up those places, but I am happy to finally get the race win.
It's not just. Yeah, it's not just you, Jonas. Everyone. I think everyone, including people at management, were extremely happy that after a long trial of waiting, you've finally deserved a long overdue FS2 race win, and it was incredibly well deserved, especially for how well you've driven so far this season. And from myself as well, massive heartfelt thanks. Congratulations over to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Winning.
Fun fact: I made my debut 3 years ago in same track as well in academy, so I think this was just destined to happen.
It was destined to happen either way. And one thing I want to say in Finnish that onneksi olkoon, sä oikeasti tosi paljon ansaisit sen ja torille. Which and for some English speakers, that means just congratulations, you really deserve it, and we're going out.
Yeah. Kiitos. Kiitos paljon.
Yep. You're welcome, and honestly, yeah, I agree also. People in management actually are pretty happy for you, even Menno as well. And honestly, now you've achieved a feat, and now and with the new wheel, you've already improved so much. So, absolutely, big congratulations after it was a hard season last year, where you had to stop because your wheel completely died.
Yeah,
By the
I
way.
remember that.
Yeah, but now you've done it. You finally done it. So very big
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And yeah, I don't have questions, but either way, it's time to. Is it time to move on to some interviews?
I think everyone did really well in race 1, and there were like really good battles in race 2. I very much enjoyed those races.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody did a good job as well. I mean, some things happened, some action happened, so at least everything was fine. But either way, Jonas, I think we gotta let you go because obviously this is gonna be a talking session, and we got some people that are still waiting for interviews. So
yeah.
But big congratulations to you, as I will now drag you back into wherever you came from. But yeah, either way, big congratulations again.
Yeah, good to get that off my mind now.
Yeah.
But see you guys later.
See you.
See you, Jonas.
And
We've got time for 2 more interviews, so I want to bring into the next one that's finished P3 in the first race in the form of Klumsetter. He did pretty well, honestly, for his quest up the field, and as a result, he's now gotten P2 at the championship, just about a few points shy of the leader, Ben Skinner. Christian, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Incredibly hectic race on your end. A little bit chaotic, but I think you've gained a little bit of advantage in race 1 as a result from a turn 3 or turn 2 carnage, and you've found yourself P3. So, how did your mind feel during that race and how it went?
It was super chaotic in race 1. The turn 3 incident, I'm so lucky not to get damage. I thought for sure I was going to lose the front wing or something when I was in the air, but luckily it was all fine after I landed. And then race 2, it was even more chaotic, starting further back. Tried my best to manage, but some off tracks had to slow down. Coming back on track, it cost me a couple of positions. But I'm still incredibly happy being P2 in the championship, gaining points on Ben as well. It's now only 11 points behind. So looking good.
In a great form, good form on your end. Actually, you've got your first win in Japan. I think ever since then, each round that you've competed in compared to Ben, you've outscored him in 3 of those rounds. Do you think you can continue that up up into the first half of the season? Do you feel that momentum has swayed your way? Do you feel, Christian?
I feel it's starting to come to me now, slowly but surely. But I'm fairly certain Ben is gonna put his head down and start pulling away again. And I think Kaspar, Jonas, Cody, all those guys really quick, probably gonna get closer to me and pull away, I think, further into the season. But of course I'm hoping for the best and hoping for more podiums and more race wins throughout the season.
Juho, any questions?
Next race will be Canada, and currently saying it is looking good for you right now. But if you can continue this streak, do you think you can challenge Ben Skinner for the championship as well, and try to keep him behind as well?
For now, it's looking like I can challenge, but I know he's a lot quicker than me. Same with many others in the top here. So I've just been trying to keep to my own in the races, try to finish well and not get involved in incidents and stuff. So I'm hoping for the best for Canada. Maybe some rain will help like last year, so we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Christian, and also well done on your race 1 podium, and well done on this week as well.
Thanks, guys.
And now we can also finish this off with
Casper. I want to do Casper.
Yep, do Casper.
Casper, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yep, just a very brief moment. I know you're watching football, but on P3 in race 2, you've done pretty good so far. It has been a very hectic race. You've outscored your teammate as well. And, well, I think there might be a little bit of ups and a little bit of downs on your end, but still, you've done very well. Let's bring him back.
Yeah. I got Dan. I was in the call with Dan, and I kind of wanted him to win. Why is Rock quiet? Messaged my dad. What? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Happy that I scored more points than Ben, even though it was like 4 points. Race 1, I didn't have any force feedback, so that was fun, driving 17 laps. I think with force feedback, I could have got a podium, but it is what it is. And then race 2, I let Dan win, and he kind of bottled my P2. But yeah, still a positive result.
Juho?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna make this quick, but Canada's up, and Canada's up next, and also you are now third in the championship with 49 points to spare from your teammate. How do you feel about Canada, and would you try to continue to fight for your championship aspirations?
Wait. Oh, 49. Wait, actually, the lot then. Never mind. I cannot be bothered to do the math. But I earned a lot then. Okay. Canada. Raced it on the weekend in another league. Had really a lot of fun. Really, usually one of my worst tracks. Enjoyed it, so kind of looking forward to it. And maybe a win is on the cards. I don't know. We'll see.
Final question for you, Casper. Do you think you could win the championship?
Looking at the minus 49, I would not bet on myself to win. Or like, if I was an outsider, I wouldn't bet on myself. Or bet on me. But there's a really long way to go in the season, and yeah, mistakes happen. Ben finally made some mistakes as well, showing that not everyone can be perfect, even though, yeah, he is first. But I think if I put more practice in than just grinding out one day, then there's a slight chance.
Big thanks for your time, Casper. Incredibly well done on your P3 in race 2. And best of luck over through to your next round in Montreal. Final question, who's winning?
Winning what?
the match you're watching.
The match, PSG. I like they're leading.
Bloody hell.
Arsenal's winning the UCL though. All in it now, on record. And, yeah.
I gotta open my beer now.
Thank you, Casper, and best of luck.
Cheers.
That's been us. Sorry about that, Casper, for the interruption. But you, any closing thoughts?
I've opened my beer, but this race has been amazing, and of course, hats off to you, Amir, for coming to the commentary booth as well. And of course, very good commentating as well. But congratulations all the drivers who got the first wins and the first podiums as well. And also for some drivers that got their first points. But yeah, either way, closing thoughts from you, Amir.
Thank you very much. Big thanks to everyone that has raced here today. Very long last, we had two first-time race winners. We thought it would have been possible after the conclusion at the Japanese Grand Prix, but Malaysian Grand Prix, in terms of its return for the first time since 2019, has well and truly delivered in terms of that racing front. We have two winners. Jonas Carlo won in race 1 to the cries of everyone around, and Dan Hayek also similarly on his 82nd attempt in FS2 has finally managed to call himself a race victor. And Demo Overdrive can put themselves up into one of the few books in history as one of the few actually to get 1-2. One of the most hardest to actually do, I feel, in terms of this GPVWC series. But the tribulations and the joy does not end here in FS2. We'll be back for more exciting racing action as we go over through to the 6th round of the FS2 Championship, as we head over to the Circuit de Villeneuve in Montreal, as we make our first ever North American appearance before we make our transition into the European stage of the calendar. Big thank you, huge thank you to Remco de Zeeuw for broadcasting. He's been absolutely phenomenal for all the races that we have covered, not just FS2, but for all the other disciplines. Big thanks to Juho Sopanen for co-commentating alongside me. He's been pretty fantastic, not just covering FS2 but also in Academy. Feel free to tune over that. He'll be back there at the 4th of April 2026. Will be over at Kyalami in the Academy series. Over at the 30th of April, just the last race before May, we are heading to FS1 in that case, in which case Edward Hunter and Owen Harmon will be covering for that. Through to the 5th of May 2026, we've got Super Lights with that will be with Toby Dees and Alex Folks, and then over at the 7th of April we have got the long-awaited Super League, which will make its grand return to Sepang. But for those of you that want to watch more FS2, we will be back in 2 weeks' time. Come for the 12th of May at that time. But until then, don't go anywhere. Feel free to tune into the rest of our races through the remaining 3 races in Sepang and the race in Kyalami up until then. But until then, thank you very much to all the drivers for competing. Thank you very much to all the people that we have a chance to interview. Apologies for those that didn't have time. We didn't have enough time. Big thanks to Remco. Big thanks to Juho. I've been Emirates. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later. See you soon.
Hey.